Lesson 7. Feather Stitch. The feather stitch is an elegant and versatile stitch used in hand embroidery. It adds a light, airy and organic feel to your designs, making it perfect for embellishing various projects. The feather stitch is perfect for adding a decorative border to garments, linens, and other fabric items. The feather stitch can be used to fill shapes with a textured, airy pattern. Now you can see the difference. When you use one strand, you get a very thin and delicate line. When you take more and more strands, so your line is getting thicker and thicker. Well, we use the same stitch, but it looks different with different number of strands. Well, the feather stitch has a few variations, and I propose you at this lesson the easiest one. So now let's practice. Thread your needle with 3 strands and make a secure knot. Draw 3 guidelines. Bring your needle up at the top of the middle guideline. Insert the needle back into the fabric to the right of the middle guideline. Bring the needle up at the middle guideline and form a loop. Pull the thread and create first V-shaped stitch. Insert the needle into the fabric to the left of the middle guideline. Then bring the needle up at the middle guideline and form a loop. Pull the thread and complete the second V-shaped stitch. Repeat the process, alternating between the left and right sides of the middle guideline. Each stitch should create a V shape, alternating from one side to another and connecting all 3 guidelines. To end the stitch, bring the needle up at the last point, make a small stitch to secure the loop, and then secure the thread on the back of the fabric with a knot. And at the end, cut the thread. At the second line, we repeat the same steps to create the feather stitch. At the third line, we are going to make stitches a bit longer. By the way, if you don't have a stand for a hoop, it's not a problem. Now you can see how to do this stitch without a stand. To end the stitch, bring the needle up at the last point, make a small stitch to secure the loop, and then secure the thread on the back of the fabric with a knot. And at the 4th line, I propose you to practice creating shorter stitches. We continue working, alternating between the left and right sides of the middle guideline and connecting all 3 guidelines. Well, now let's practice creating the feather stitch, but in a horizontal direction. To embroider in this way, we repeat the same steps as before. And the last line is also horizontal, but we are going to embroider it in the opposite direction. While embroidering, pull the thread through gently. Don't pull your thread too tight, but in the same time, don't leave it too loose. Now thread your needle with 3 strands and let's practice embroidering not in a straight line, but in a circle. We draw also 3 guidelines. These guidelines will help us to create neat and even stitch. And repeat the same steps as before. By the way, there are some tips for a perfect feather stitch. The first one, it's a consistent tension. Maintain even tension to keep the loops neat and uniform. Avoid pulling too tightly or leaving the thread too loose. The second one is even spacing. Practice keeping your stitches evenly spaced and the same length to achieve a balanced look. And the third tip is using guidelines. Lightly draw guidelines on your fabric with a water-soluble or heat-erasable pen to keep your stitches straight and even. Well, the last few stitches and our circle is ready. Let's secure the thread with a knot and cut the thread. And the last task, we thread the needle with 3 strands as well. And now let's try to embroider this wave. Well, this task is a little bit difficult, but don't be in a hurry and you will do it easily. This task is extremely useful because you can use the feather stitch for embroidering branches and twigs. And you know that not always twigs are straight. Very often they are quite curved. So now let's practice embroidering some curved lines. While working, keep your stitches evenly spaced and the same length. It's very important. By following these steps, you will be able to create beautiful feather stitch designs, adding a delicate and decorative touch to your embroidery projects. I hope you coped with all the tasks and enjoyed the process of stitching. So, see you at the next lesson.